This thing right here is one of the best modern day things that you can use to map your BMW. And in today's video, I'm going to be showing you exactly how to utilize this incredible tool to gain incredible horsepower from these stock engines. So let's get straight into the video. Okay, so a lot of you guys are going to know what this is. This is a MHD adapter. Now, this is just one part of what you need to be able to access hidden horsepower that these engines the BMW release have. Now, in my case, this is the N55. This comes in many of the F series shapes and also the E series. So, for example, this is the M235i. It comes in the 1 series, M135i, 3 series, 335i, pretty much anything with a 35 on the end. So, it's a very capable engine. And in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how you can utilize this tool here, as well as your smartphone, to literally remap the car. So let's get straight into it. So I've talked loads on the channel about doing some precautionary measures on this N55 before you map the car. So I'm not going to bore you guys with all of that today. There'll be a link somewhere on this video, probably up on the top right, if I remember to do it, of what you can do to make sure your engine doesn't go bang. So that's that. Now that the maintenance talk is done, let's get straight into mapping the car. So the next part is going to involve us going in the car. So I'm going to take a seat inside, and this is where it gets a bit important. If we turn the lights on so you guys can see, because it's dark right now, I currently have another live data reader in my OBD port. But what you want to do is plug your OBD MHD adapter down here. You want to plug it in, so it's very simple, just plugs in, just like that. The easiest way to remember is the writing for the MHD, in my case, with this adapter, goes facing the car outside. Just an easy way to remember. You'll see a little light come on down there. That means it's all plugged in. So next thing we can do is close the door and we can talk inside the car. So the flash has come on, which has helped because it's getting a bit dark in here. In today's video, we're going to be talking about purely the stage 1 map that you can do with MHD. So I'll put the figures on the screen now of what MHD states that you can get with a stage 1 map. But that is what I'm going to be showing you in today's video, showing you guys exactly how to do it and how easy it is to do. So there's sort of the kind of horsepower figures you can expect to get. And without any further ado, let's get straight into it. First things first, don't start the car, just turn your ignition on. And you want to just do simple things like turning your lights off and making sure that your fans aren't on or anything that's going to seriously drain the battery in the car. So when that's all done, you'll be able to go into your phone, and without music playing, you want to go into your phone and you want to connect to the Wi-Fi of your MHD adapter. So there's no code needed, it just connects straight to it, which is down there plugged in. Make sure it's on and the ignition is on to do it. So I'm going to skip the basic part of putting your license in and doing all that, because that's pretty self-explanatory. There's loads of videos and tutorials online of how to do that. I'm going to be purely showing you today how to map it. So I'm going to go into my phone now and screen record it for you guys to see. Alright, so we are now in the MHD adapter, and one easy way to know if it's connected and you're all set up is if you go on here and you click on my licenses. I'm not going to go on it because I don't want you guys to see the code and anything. That will show you what license you've got and make sure that it's all working. So we're going to go straight onto the top map here and click Flash 8 MHD map. This is the simplest version and one of the easiest ways to get horsepower. So once you've done that, you're going to see a whole list of things, and it can look a little bit daunting to start with. But in our case, we're just going to be starting with this stage 1 here. So it says for stock cars, unmodified basically, and you just want to increase that performance by about 30 horsepower, which is a nice little change. It's what I ran for a good time, and I really enjoyed it before I started going a bit more crazy with the map. So we're just going to select kind of what fuel you're running. So in my case, here in the UK, it's kind of 98 RON. I run the car on super fuel anyway because I don't like putting the nasty E10 in, so I run it on E5. So I'm going to select that fuel, but you want to map your car accordingly with whatever fuel. At the top, one important thing you don't want to miss is what box you're running for the gear. So in my case, I'm a manual transmission. If you were auto, you'd select one of these, but in my case, I'm mapping a manual car. So then I'm going to click on the little arrow to the top right of this stage 1 icon here. And when this loads, it's going to connect to the car. You can click map right straight away, and that'll be fine. You can increase power like that, just like that, but it's really interesting. If you paid for the super license and everything, you've got loads of other options here. So if you click on options, you can see a whole list comes up, and this can look a little bit scary to start with, but trust me, it's really simple when you get the hang of it. So in my opinion, sure you guys have seen anti-lag that before. There's loads of videos on that. You can enable it or you can disable it. It's completely up to you. It's just a tick box like that. You can also choose the PSI of what you want it to be. So I'm just going to kind of run around halfway because that's what I'm wanting to use at the moment. So there's a few other options. We're just going to keep it basic today. You don't want to be going into no lift shift or anything if you're just on a stage 1. So I would click apply a linear throttle mapping. That just makes the car smooth and your pedals nice and smooth and there's no jerkiness. Now, exhaust setup, this is quite interesting. If you were a stock car, which you most likely are if you're mapping a stage 1 tune, you will click stock downpipe. So that means you've still got your catalytic converters in there and everything is stock with the exhaust system. So you can map that accordingly. Obviously, I have a sports cat, so I'm going to map that in. You've got loads of other options here. You can remove the top speed limiter, increase iDrive power gauges. So that means when you go onto your live data on the BMW iDrive screen, you can see if they update or not. You've got the overon BRAP here, which is something the OG M2 came with, so you can choose that. I'm going to leave that on OEM. And you have loads of settings here where you can customize the exhaust burbles. You can turn them off completely, just like that. It's completely whatever you guys decide to do. But in my case, I'm just going to leave this all kind of stock because I like it how it comes with the factory. But I'm going to turn that down. The minimum RPM just down there, I want that on 1,000. And maximum, I don't really want any exhaust burbles after 5,000 RPM. And you've got the minimum speed that these happen. I'm going to put that down on 0. And the max speed. Cold start noise reduction, I've ticked that on because I don't want to annoy my neighbours with always having a cold start. And you've got loads of other options here, like the exhaust flap, always open in sport mode, and a startup roar. It is pretty self-explanatory, all of these things, but it's completely whatever you guys decide to choose. Limit power by gear, I don't really think you need to worry about that on a stage 1 map. You've got loads of other options here. Now, I've talked loads about these in other videos, but you just want to leave all of these as they are. When the app is downloaded, and don't really change them, because if you're running a stage 1 map, you're not going to really want to play around with these things too much. Now, if it is your first time mapping the car, you're going to want to connect a battery charger because it's going to be a long write. I think it took about 5 minutes the first time I did it, whereas if you're just going back to a normal map and you've mapped it regularly, it will only take about 20 seconds. So I think we've played enough around in here, so I'm just going to click back. And this is the big part, you want to click map right. So in the car now, I've got no fans on, no lights on, and the car is connected, so we're just going to click that. You're going to hear all sorts of codes, and currently on the dash, which I can't film because I'm mapping the car, but there's loads of error codes coming up on the screen. This is all completely normal. Don't be alarmed when this happens. It's a completely necessary process that happens every time you do this, and you will become more comfortable the more you do it. So it's just going to give about 15 seconds there, and then it's going to be completed. Obviously, like I said, because I've done it a couple times, it writes the map really quickly, whereas if it's the first time, it's a battery charger. It's definitely recommended, as it says in the bottom of the screen there. So as you can see, that's now flashed. It's just going to reset the ECU, and it's going to erase all the codes, and then the car's going to go basically dead. And when it goes dead, just leave it for about 30 seconds to a minute just to sort itself out. Don't start the car up straight away. And as soon as that is done and it said wait 30 seconds, which it has, I'll now meet you guys back in the car. Okay, do apologise, that was me talking for a lot and I had to cram a lot in when filming that. But that is the map for the stage 1 done. So you could expect some decent increases in power with what I just did with the stage 1 map. It's what I ran on the car for a good, I would say, 2 months before I started getting the confidence to go to a stage 2. So it's just something to consider. There's loads of options on the MHD app if you pay for the super license version, and there's loads of other maps you can import to MHD, which is why it's such a powerful tool for these BMWs. But that is a stage 1 map with MHD. It is really simple. Obviously, key points: remember to connect your battery charger for the first time you do it, because it's going to take a while. And then when you're pretty much done from there, just go for a long drive and make sure the battery's at a good voltage and the battery's healthy, and you'll be all okay. If you guys did find the video helpful though, I'd really appreciate it if you gave it a thumbs up, and also subscribe to the channel down below. Any questions you have, I will answer them, so just leave them in the comment section. But that is how you map your car, or any 235 with an N55 engine with MHD and a stage 1 map. It's really simple. I hope you guys enjoy the power if you decide to do it, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Thank you very much for watching.